What up, everybody? It's Monstrous Nightmare number 716, Ryan Davian, coming to you from the Ryno pit. We are coming to you here. I'm just going to do a little live video. Of me packing and just showing you the experience that you get with the Monstrous Nightmare minimum light perception mask. Also, just to kind of show you the process of what we go through. Give me just one more second, and I will be right back. All right, everybody, we are back. Had to get myself a little bit more situated here. It's a little bit toasty in the garage, the shop here. Um, just wanted to show everybody a little bit of the process and what we do here at the Ryno pit now that we are kind of going full-fledged side trainer. In addition to kind of being a rep for the side games. And just kind of consciousness in general, we're going to be going around the world here in just a little bit. So I'm trying to stay a little bit, low-key. There's some pit bike races this weekend. We have our first annual Skywatch this weekend. Obviously, Skywatch is a huge, big deal to us in our community, so I'm going to be going to that and not doing the pit bike racing. Still on the fence about doing Greeley Supercross next weekend. That is my favorite race of the entire year, Greeley Supercross. If you see this or come across it, Rev Limiter Productions. Man, you guys put on an amazing event. I'm still thinking about racing that now. Now, we've got the side games under the belt. I might do a little bit of racing. We'll see. I also need to stay safe to make sure I can go on all these amazing journeys. I just wanted to kind of show everybody kind of what we do here. So I just wanted to show everybody. So we are going to be selling retail at our events. Mostly I just wanted to show everybody kind of like what the unboxing experience is going to be like for one of the Monstrous Nightmare Mindsight masks. So once again, I'm kind of selling these as art. I do paint them. They are one-offs. They're not, factory made. They're not anything other than what I present them to be. So they are work masks that we have modified to be the super high-quality, durable, full face masks. And the reason that I'm selling a full face mask is because that's what I'm using to train from now on. I still, once again, I'm not talking any smack on the Mindfold. I think it's an amazing tool. I think that's kind of the, that's a really, using a Mindfold to do Mindsight is a really good way to kind of get into the community, get into, kind of believing that these things are, possible and real and getting yourself into that zone, right? And so, once again, no disrespect to the Mindfold company or anybody that uses the Mindfold. I think the base layer that we're going to be working with from now on is going to be patches. And if we're not in patches and the Mindfold, then we're going to be just in one of these helmets, one of these full face masks. What I can tell you is it's so funny, and this will be the way I reference it without getting myself in trouble. When I was being tested in North Carolina after the side games, what was pretty funny is everyone knows I'm moto, and I talk about it, and I love talking about it. I've been that for a long time. So they were making fun that one of the things that we could use if we got kind of to like the higher levels was this thing that they were referring to as the moto helmet. And that's just where I'll leave it. I won't say anything more than that, but it's just so funny, right? Because, especially as this becomes more of a well-known thing, we are going to want some discernment between, what people are really doing. One thing I'm wanting to talk about and wanted to come on here to say too is, I think the world's more dynamic than we make it, right? Like, I think there are psychic people like a Dr. Xavier. And I think there are people that have extrasensory perception or some sort of a phenomenon about themselves that makes them completely unique and, you know, very, very interesting and kind of away from the norm, right? And I think, you know, just going to all these different places and meeting all these amazing people, you know, I don't know if apportation, being able to make something disappear, is a psychic ability or if that's just a phenomenon in itself. You know, I think just being real, right? I don't know. I don't know if one's a psychic ability compared to just an ability. Like, you know, my reference for all this is kind of the X-Men, right? You know, you had psychics in the X-Men, and then you had certain X-Men with certain abilities that they either gained or were innate since they were kids, right? And I think if I had to put my finger on the pulse of what I think the closest thing to reality is I think it's partially kind of like a Stranger Things, all this other stuff. I think what it's more like is now that things are kind of coming out, you can break the matrix by putting the penny on the wall, even though the psi community's been doing that for a minute, and you know, who knows what this all is, right? But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I feel like the world's more like X-Men. I truly do. I feel like there are people that maybe aren't using psychic abilities, but maybe their body can do something different than a lot of other people's can. We have healers, right? Some of these healers have proven their healing ability, and if you were to say that, is that a psychic ability or is that a phenomenon that their body has that's not common, right? That they have this extra ability that maybe others don't, right? But is that psychic, right? And so I guess what I'm just trying to say is I don't even know where I fit into all this, because if you were to ask me what my strongest stuff is in terms of all this psi stuff, I would probably say precognition. It's just my baseline strongest. It's kind of what drives. But I don't ever just use one thing, right? Like, whenever I'm doing any of this stuff, even when I'm just living my day-to-day life, right? Like, it's synchronicities, it's paying attention to what's going on around you, you know, being present. I always talk about that. And so, you know, basically just so everyone knows, away from all this stuff I'm talking about, what I'm doing here is I'm building the individual boxes for the new batch of the Nightmare Masks. I'm going to show them all off individually during all this too, so you guys can see like what is involved in making these and what the unboxing experience is, and just to kind of talk, you know, I'm going to be trying to be on YouTube a little bit more than I have been, just because I'm a little bit more well known now, and I kind of got told that YouTube's a good platform, so I don't have much space left on my phone, so after all the things I've done this year, so I'm going to be doing a few more live things that then I can repost if I need to. But yeah, you know, here's the thing, you know, for me personally, I just think the world's way more magical than we let it, you know, we let ourselves believe if we're just stuck in a 9-to-5, you know, rat race kind of thinking. I do think there is practicality and reality to life, right? Like, if I'm full-time side trainer, I've got to be able to produce something that nobody else does, and you know, have a way to support my family. So once again, we're kind of doing these Nightmare Masks, we're doing these events, we're trying to make it happen, right? And so just so everybody kind of knows what, you know, kind of the backstory to why we're also posting all this. But where I was going to go before I got derailed with trying to do a little promo and explain exactly what I'm doing with these boxes and stuff, I just wanted to tell people, you know, I met people alone at the Intuitive Perception that had amazing abilities. I've now become friends with them, and these same people are kind of in this community now. And man, these people are different. They're just different types of cats. So anybody that knows me says that's how I frame interesting people, is they're weird cats. I'm a weird cat, right? And so compared to the norm, the standard, the normies, you know, the muggles, or the whatever you might just say like a standard 9 to 5 person is, right? Sorry guys, I can't see if anybody's making comments. I've got it too far away. I'm just gonna keep moving here, just because I'm also gonna probably repost this as well. But if anybody's on there, what's up everybody? See that there's a few people on there. So what's up to everybody that's on there? I'll check it here in just a minute. Maybe I'll even answer any questions anybody has or anything like that. But just trying to get through getting these boxes made real quick and talking here. So once again, you know, the thing I wanted to make sure everybody knew is that, you know, I stayed extra to do testing with scientists at the Sci Games. Me and a few other pretty amazing folks. That's about all I'm going to say, but man, it was verification, right? It was verification for the Sci Games. It was verification from these scientists and the people and all the things that happened, and too many synchronicities to just not take notice, right? Like me and Justin from Lights Over Loveland were talking. It's just like ever since we had our heart match, our words match our actions, we've been doing what we've been saying, what we've been meaning, how we're feeling, and just being real and authentic, right? Like so many things have come into our life, and you know, we're not having to chase as much as we're more magnetic. We're bringing it in. And it's just been such an amazing ride to have my family and, you know, a bunch of my really good friends being able to be a part of it. Man, there was so much love at Sci Games from you know, people I know, but like, you know, I know Corey Moo, but I've met her a handful of times, and we've had these experiences, right? But man, she treats me like I'm her brother. My wife was even hassling her at one of the events. And to the point that I was actually like, whoa, Randy, that was a pretty weird thing you just said. But Corey took it in stride and went right back, man. It's just those moments where you meet your soul tribe, man. Justin and Dave and Kari and all of the podcaster friends I've met, man. It's like finding your soul tribe. You find the right people at the right time and the right moments. Things come to you, and it's just, you know, being aware in the moment and being yourself, and you know, just trying to take advantage of everything you can. And so once again, we are making the boxes for the next round of the Monstrous Nightmare Mind Sight masks. Minimum light perception full face masks. Basically, once again, I want to have you guys see what the actual process is and what the unboxing will be like. Once again, I'm not framing these as a tool. These are art pieces, because they really are. But they can be used to train your psychic abilities in what I will call the latest way, the highest end way, the way that, you know, you might be tested if you're being tested for real. So that's the purpose of these. Each box is getting 2 layers of tape because I want the box to hold up its integrity. Each box will have a to and from. If you wanted to make it a gift, it'll already have it on there. And then let me kind of roll through here. I'm actually going to bring this up a little bit, and I'm going to roll through each one of the masks. They will actually be being packed in tape as well, bubble tape. Or bubble wrap with tape is what I meant to say. I just want to show you guys what these are, how we're going to be selling them, and basically like what to expect when you get them, right? So I'm going to grab this here. We'll also take a look and see if anybody's watching, since we've already been on for 15 minutes. There's a couple people watching. All right. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to put this here, and I'm just going to show each mask. I'm going to bring it up. So guys, what we're selling here is, this is a work mask. It's got the filter and the chin piece. Chin piece goes into the bottom with the filter so that you cannot see through. It clips in with 2 different pieces. They clip into each other with the filter in the middle. The Mind Sight mask itself will have two different options. I don't know that we're going to be selling this option at this very moment. How this round of Mind Sight mask is going to be coming through is just with the clear front. I am going to have some different versions that cost a little bit more that will have the actual eye pads for folks that want to make sure that they keep their eyes shut. Like if that's how they get into the zone, I wanted to be able to accommodate for that. I do have a few of those and we'll kind of show them off as we go, but this is what you're getting. You're getting a painted version of this. I'll show you how we paint them and you know, all the processes, but that's what you would be buying. So I'll also kind of just go through these one at one. I have a few that are already completely made, so I'm going to show you guys what we do with them. I'm going to give them a lot number, and you guys can just kind of know that these are available for purchase. So our first one here is going to be one of the original prototypes. That's why it's blue. This one you would put in. Once again, you're completely sealed in. You're completely painted in. This is one of the original gold ones, one of the original prototypes is what I'll call them. So I'm going to go ahead and put the... So once again, they have the the cheek straps that are also put in to help seal them in. You have a double layered basically nose piece in there that made out of foam that would hold it in. This is one of the original prototypes. So I'm going to show you guys here what we're going to do. We're going to put the straps in for the ears, or for the helmet part of it. There we go. And once again, the front is still the durable plastic of the work mask itself. It's the inside that's painted. So as long as you're not trying to scratch the inside of it, there shouldn't be any issues with any sort of wear or anything coming off of the paint. For this particular mask, this mask will not be able to have the inserts based on the fact that it's got the eye inserts. So once again, this is one of the original prototypes. Pretty cool piece, especially if you're into any of the size stuff. This was one of the originals. So this is the mask here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the boxes here. Once again, we're going to wrap these in bubble wrap before we actually package them. But I'm going to show you guys. They would be set inside the box with the bubble wrap. I just want everyone to know which one this is. So we are going to call this one... This guy here is going to be the blue, because it's got the original blue frame, perp, teal. So just so everybody is aware, this is number one. This is the blue teal with the blue frame, and we're going to call this number one proto. So that one is actually good to go completely. Let's do this guy. So this is another one of the original prototypes. This is one of the ones that's completely gold. I called this one the original Galaxy Iron Man. Let me get the straps on this guy, and we'll get this guy sealed in. And I'll show you this guy gets the other portion of what I was talking about earlier. So let me get this going for everybody. Being attacked by flies in my garage. Okay. So this guy's almost on here. So this mask, once again, sealed. I always give a few extra filters. This is one of the original guys. So what this guy is going to have inside of it as well is it's going to have a handful of the inserts. So what we do is, just so everybody is aware, there's a second lip on the inside top that holds the frame in, and then there's a second lip. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your insert in and tuck it underneath that lip. So I'm going to make sure there's a handful of those in there for this one. I'm going to give you guys a few different colors. You can also use them as just like, you know, basically patterns to do your own if you decide to change colors, anything you decide to do with it. So we're gonna box this guy up real quick because this one's ready to go. Once again, it'll be wrapped in bubble wrap. We're gonna call this one Black Frame Iron Man Galaxy. Gold, red. This is going to be 002 Proto. So that one's going to be ready to rock. So actually I'm going to wait to do the rest of these, but I am going to show off kind of what these are, and I'll kind of do like a repost later on. This one came out super sick of this round, so I have white frames now for third round. This one is another one that I'm going to call a Galaxy Blue and Teal. Even kind of ended up with kind of a eyeball in the center of it. Completely sealed in. I had to make that eyeball come out of it, but once again, these ones will also take the inserts, but they're matte black inside now. So once again, art pieces that can also be used for side training. Matte black on the inside now. Filters will be installed. The headband will be on. Cheek pads installed just like you've seen in the other ones. Just wanted to show these guys off a little bit. I've got two green ones. So this is the first green one, green and gold. I'm gonna probably call it something. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it. This one's more of a neon green. A little bit less gold, a little bit more vibrant of a green. Once again, the white frames and then the matte inside. This one came out so cool. Whoever gets this one, I'm gonna be excited for because this one's sick. The red and the white, this one looks sick. Once again, the filter will be in, head straps will be on, cheek pads will be in. Once again, the matte black on the inside. This one came out super clean as well. We've got the second Iron Man Galaxy. I may even end up calling this one like Spider Pool or Dead Iron. I don't know. This one just has such a cool look. But I would call this one maybe the Galaxy Iron Man as well with the white frame. This one is sick. Once again, this one came out super clean on the inside, matte black. They'll have the inserts in them as well. We have one of the original prototypes, once again, with the blue. This is the battle-damaged Iron Man. This one actually has the eye patches in it, as well as the cheek pads already built in. Just so everybody can kind of see what the cheek pads look like, just to give it a little bit extra seal. This will have the mask on it. This will be labeled as Proto. I'm sure we're going to kind of call it Battle Damage Iron Man Proto. And then these are the sick ones for this round, guys. I'm going to call these ones the Hero Masks. So this is, I believe, the Chrome. This is a fully painted Chrome one with the matte black on inside. These ones came out, all of them came out super clean. This one came out super clean in particular. Everything's sealed. Once again, scratch resistant in the front. These ones came out clean. They'll have the filters, the cheek pads and all that in. These ones will look sick. I don't know if you're like a white motocross boot guy. I'm a white motocross boot guy. These would be the white motocross boots. This one I'm calling Pearl. So once again, it's that chrome with the pearl, that's kind of that like kind of teal and purple. Super clean on the inside once again. These ones came out so good. I was so proud of these guys. Filter, cheek pads will be built in. I'm going to call this one the Pearl Gray. And then this one's kind of my favorite of the grays. This was just a little bit of all the different colors in it. Kind of ended up with that same circle. A little bit rougher on the inside, but once again, it'll have the inserts. Ended up coming out super cool on the front. Once again, that matte black on the inside. Super cool mask. once again, I'm going to be selling these at our skywatching event coming up tomorrow in Nunn, Colorado, the Saturday the 15th. We will also be so first dibs will be to folks that are out there that want to buy these. Just because that event is tomorrow, I don't have to do any shipping if folks buy them, and nothing to anybody that's watching. But if I have the opportunity to sell them tomorrow and just get the money and make it happen, I'm going to do it that way. Otherwise, what's left after the event tomorrow, we'll be posting on our Consciousness Connection and Training LLC website. Plan to go in there and update that this weekend. We're also going to be starting a Patreon where you can kind of contribute. Once again, I'm trying to follow a dream here and just make all these things happen and share them with you guys. And, to go do all this traveling is, it's a lot of time being taken away from, a normal situation. So, I'm trying to help support what's going on, to help keep me going to all these things. So feel free to contribute. To either myself and buying some of the merch, or buying something from the online store. We're going to start selling t-shirts. We're going to be just doing a whole bunch of cool stuff. I'm going to be doing a presentation tomorrow that will have 2 projectors. I actually had to buy a splitter to have 2 things going on at once. It's going to be so cool. So even if the weather doesn't end up, I think the weather's going to be amazing, but even if the weather doesn't, I think it's going to be just as good. We're going to get so much good psychic training in. We're going to be having so much fun as a community, and we as long as it's lightning, I think it's still going to be good. If it's just kind of a drizzly rain, that's going to be a bummer, but man, I think if we get some lightning even, it's going to be an amazing night, even if it has a little bit of a storm to it. So that all being said, everybody, I'm going to sign off for now. Once again, we're going to be posting these individually, once we see what doesn't sell at the Skywatch event tomorrow. On our online site, I can always take orders. Best way if you're wanting something specific. I do paint jobs. Once again, I have an industrial design degree, so I can do the paint jobs. Oh yeah, these are the new things that we're going to be selling as well, guys. These are going to be individually boxed. So these are going to be screens. So you would wear it like you would sunglasses. And these ones are all, once again, numbered and have my signature. All of these will have my signature on the corner of them and a number. So once again, these are art pieces that you can also train with. But I'm going to have people were really having a hard time with the way that you have to breathe in the other one. So this one will still be, this one tucks to your chin. So as long as the target is above your, as long as the target is above your chest, those are going to be a little bit more for folks that, want to be able to breathe in them, want to be able to, not be sealed in like you would if you were being tested by scientists or something. So kind of I would say if the Mindfold is kind of the 125 of it, these are kind of the 250s, the full face mask being the big old 450 or the Stark, a big boy. And, we're going to start, kind of coming out with some other things to do to make modifications to things. I think, my creativity and just wanting to help people progress is going to be amazing for all this. And once again, all sorts of different colors, all sorts of different things. These white framed ones came out sick. And we have all the other stuff, and we're going to be having our barbecue tomorrow in Nunn, Colorado. Hit up Colorado Stargazing 369 if you're interested. We are going to be doing our trainings with the galley wheel starting on Sunday. I've done a couple of them with them so far, just to kind of get, make sure I got all the things worked out with the program itself that I'm going to be using. But we're going to start those up with group classes at the end of the week. And we'll keep everybody posted. So much going on at the Ryno Pit, man. But once again, come check out our community event tomorrow and get yourself some of the Mindsight merch, or minimum light perception merch is what I'm going to say. Once again, I don't know, man. I don't know if everything's psi as much as it's like people have certain abilities, right? I'm thinking, like I said before, and I was rambling in the first part before I got disconnected, I feel like the world's definitely more of like a X-Men situation and what I've seen with my own eyes compared to like it being more like an 11 where it's all mind stuff. I feel like there's mind stuff, but then there's people that just have other types of abilities, right? And so in my experience of what I've seen in my journey over this last like 2 years, so That all being said, we'll talk to everyone later. We're going to jump live on Facebook next to do the second half of this. And I hope everybody was happy and is having a good day and have an amazing Friday. Party like it's Saturday already. And peace. If we can end it. Says now we're sharing it. What are we doing? We're having an old man moment. Hold on, everybody. Are we ending?